What's going on, y'all? Today on Brown Enough, we are joined by Marielle Segarra, journalist, editor, and the host of NPR's Life Kit. Marielle has a gift for asking the questions we all carry quietly. How do we take care of ourselves, make better decisions, and live with a little more clarity in an overwhelming world?
I don't look at other people and say, well, you're not brown, or you're not brown, or you know what I mean? Like there's a thing that's happening for myself where I don't want to step out of line.
On this episode, we talk about curiosity as practice, about translating information into care, and about what it means to meet people where they are with empathy, honesty, and tools that actually help. This is a conversation about living better together. Enjoy.
Find your unity in your service to all. That feels very Life Kit.
Yeah. I got into a fight with Yogi T many years ago. This was like early Instagram days.
Okay.
And I was like, these quotes used to inspire me. And now I think they're just recycled. I was like, I'm just reading the same ones. There's no new quotes.
Give me some new shit. Yeah.
I was like, give me some new shit. They're corny. I was like, bring me in, coach. I can write you some great quotes. And so I started hashtag basic Yogi T.
God.
And a bunch of people started doing it when they saw like a basic Yogi T quote. And then I got an email from Yogi T saying, what's the problem? Please stop hashtagging basic Yogi T at these quotes. And I said, I think you need some new quotes. Like, and are you hiring people? And they're like, these quotes are based on our founder and we don't come up with new ones. Like they are what they are.
It's just funny that you were like, I'm going to nag you and then ask you for a job.
Yeah.
But I bet that like happens in fact, I think I remember.
It's like when you have a crush on someone in the schoolyard when you're a little kid.
Yeah.
You shove them, but really you love them.
I just don't ever want somebody who has a crush on me to shove me. Let's be nice.
We grow out of it, but I believe when we're young, we don't know how to just say, I quote this poem all the time by Hafiz. It's called That Sweet Moon Language. Walking around with that look in the eye, saying what everyone else is thinking, love me. But of course you don't say it out loud because you would seem crazy.
Yeah.
But why don't you be the one with the courage to say love me?
Yeah.
And I think that's the pushing versus the...
Yeah.
Just like, I'm going to tell this person how I feel.
I'm going to tell this person how I feel person. I think sometimes I've actually had to learn to not
tell them how you feel.
Because I'll do it instantly. You know what I mean?
Man.
I'll be like, the vibes are good, And like,
I just met you. The vibes are good.
The vibes are good. And like, first of all, I don't have all the information. So I may be speaking too soon, But also other people move at a different pace, and I have to respect that.
I used to write a lot of like love poems 2 weeks into knowing someone, and then I think I learned like early, it either hits.
Yeah.
Or they're like, this is intense. Yeah. But that's good.
You showed them to them. It's not just like,
it
you
wasn't
kept
for
it
me.
to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
like,
declarations.
That's so sweet.
Of my love.
My friend told me once that she wrote like a poem about me. She told me this into knowing me, but she wrote a poem about something about my eyes, whatever. And I was like, that's really sweet. Also, I think you had a crush on me. I think it's really nice to realize that you were the object of someone else's affection or desire.
That's so nice.
Like that you made an impression on somebody. And so that's why on the train, I will tell a lot of people that I think I love their jacket.
Their fit or their...
Yeah, like I told a woman today, I was like, the minute you walked on the train, I was like, oh shit, she looks good.
You did? You said all that?
I did. Yeah, because she looked good.
That's cool.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, thank you, it's new. She had this really cool, it was like a maroon leather jacket on. And I thought she looked great for so many reasons, but I zeroed in on the jacket. I didn't want to be a creep.
It does feel good to receive that. Tell people you see them.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to be seen.
I think especially for a lot of men, they're unsure how to do that in this world and era. And like, we don't obviously want to harass anybody. Yeah, you don't want to do it in a context that would be where there's a power imbalance. You're somebody's boss. It's like you're their doctor. You're something like that. But
the difference is, I think, with men, and I don't speak for all men, for so long, men have used compliments to receive, to get. Like the compliment is not in service of the compliment. It's not from generosity. It's from like, what can I acquire from this?
Oh, yeah.
And And I think it's worth it to acknowledge, why am I giving this compliment, or why am I saying this, or why am I even being moved to admire someone in this way? Is it to acquire? Ram Dass talks about all the time the practice of like desire. Can you not claim it as like mine? You fall in love with people on the street all the time. You're like, you're beautiful. Wow, that person's beautiful. This person's beautiful.
Yeah.
And we come up with these stories in our head, but it's the attachment that it starts to get iffy. Can we just be like, I love this person's coat, and just receive the abundance of that, and then just move on?
Yeah.
And fall in love again and again and again. It's just this like flow in and flow out versus like, now I have to hold it. I've told you you're beautiful, and now you're mine.
Now will you be my wife?
Yes.
Yeah. I like to do a lot of drive-by compliments on the subway. So I will tell sometimes men, but often women, I will just be like, you are so beautiful. I love your haircut, or that is an amazing outfit, or that looks great on you. And then I'm like, okay, bye. I don't linger. I'm not looking for...
The lingering is where it gets...
Yeah, I'm not looking for a phone number or whatever. Though I have, but it's a specific interaction. It's a specific moment when you're like, I'm going to shoot my shot and be like, hey, can I get your number? But that's like more rare.
How do you shoot your shot?
There was a guy who I was on the train and I saw him come on and I just thought, he's so cute. And then I asked him if he had a pen. And I had a piece of paper that was a tag from an NPR t-shirt. And when he gave me the pen, I wrote down my number on it and gave it to him. And I was like, I just think you're cute. And then we ended up actually going out that night.
Whoa, that's great.
Like we got off the train together and like went for a walk and then got a drink.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I have done things like that. And sometimes I feel that men are not going to do that on the subway because... Or the kind of men even that I want to date are not going to do that on the subway because they're trying to be respectful, or they're just like locked in their phones like all of us. But I'll occasionally take a shot if I don't see a wedding ring. What does
it take to do that? So I have a dear friend. I will not name names. Amazing person. Struggles to date.
Yeah.
Like a catch, a win.
Yeah.
Struggles. And I said, you just need you got to do it. You have to do it. You have to because they're not going to do it. They were like, men suck. They're not like coming up to me. Everything has to be online. And I was like, you have to do it. You can do it.
Yeah, I don't use dating apps anymore either. So part of it was being like, I trust that I will meet the right people or person in the world, in my community, which I continue to invest in and grow and foster for many reasons, not just because I'm like trying to date. Some moments it feels right to do that. Some moments you're feeling a little like flirty and playful and it wouldn't hurt your feelings if they didn't call you. Like that's the other thing. If you're that
person, hopefully you're like, yeah, I shot it, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just some guy I saw on the train. Like, he wants to call me, then you can call me. If not, no big deal, right?
I think that's where fantasy comes into play. Because if you shoot your shot, you literally have no idea, single or non-single, the person, you have no idea what's going on in their life. And so they could receive the number graciously and never call you because when they go home, like, I don't know, they got some terrible news from their mother and they just kind of like, life moved on, they forgot.
Yeah.
I don't really have the time to call this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot your shot. All right, I really jumped in here. Who am I speaking with?
Marielle Segarra, host of Life Kit at NPR.
What is Life Kit?
Yeah, we're a service journalism show.
Service journalism.
We serve the people. As my Yogi T said, I find my unity in my service to all.
Does not all journalism serve the people?
Oh, good point. Well, not all. No. No, not all journalism serves the people, I think. It depends on who's doing it, I think, and their intentions. But we do a particular kind of service, which is very practical. And some people might call it like news you can use or how to. We interview experts on different topics, everything from, health to money to relationships to like life skills, how to make a turkey for Thanksgiving. And then we give people research-backed advice and we fact check very, very carefully and make sure that what we're putting out there is rooted in science or in someone's expertise, because there is a lot of, especially wellness information out there that's actually misinformation, or they're not fact checking at all. They have somebody come on their show and they just talk. And they're like, yeah, you should really do coffee enemas. Like, they're so helpful, We don't want to do that, and we don't do that.
I heard a term yesterday. This is enema related. Called emotional enema.
What is an emotional enema?
The way I had heard it in this play was like, you go through life, you store. You do the emotional enema, and it's like a night of one of those nights where you just write.
Okay.
And the whole book pours out, or the whole play, or the whole song, or the whole opera, or the whole painting, or the series of paintings, or the big idea, because you actually, did it. But an AI cannot do that.
Yeah.
And so what it does is it might get things right, but it robs the artist of experience.
Yeah.
And of that release.
Yeah. It's not coming from a true place. It's not
Yes.
coming from a human place, at least.
An experiential place.
Yeah.
And we're like, I think we are devoid of experience.
Yeah.
Back to journalism. How did you get into journalism?
I wanted to be a writer always. So I was like, when I was a kid, I was writing a lot. But then in high school, I started being like, oh, what's a job I could get writing? And I think what I wanted to do was write novels or fiction. And I remember my mom being like, you're not going to make any money doing that. So I tried out journalism, I did it in high school, and I was like, and that was my intention going into college, was that I would become a journalist. And I thought it would be at my college newspaper, but I didn't really like the vibe there. And my sophomore year, one of our RAs told me I should join the radio station. Brown has an alt-rock, or had an alt-rock radio station that had a news department. It was a very big station around the state, around Rhode Island, and people would listen to it, and we'd have like the biggest alt-rock musicians come in. And
To Brown?
yeah,
Cool.
and to like Nirvana, Sign the Wall here, AFI,
Cool.
Passion Pit, The Killers, like they would just be coming through, and we were just like college students doing our job. And I was also interviewing a lot of politicians around the state, because our news department was reporting on statewide issues, not just like on campus issues. But I loved working in radio. That was the initial spark. I thought I loved the intimacy of it. I love there's something really tactile about it. I almost feel like it's like capturing something in a bottle. I feel very safe in studios that are soundproofed like this. It feels like a hug or something, Yeah, there's a pacing also that I like when working with sound and working with radio. It's like I realize that I'm very rhythm oriented in the things that like really move me. Like I ran track and cross country in high school, and so I could tell you what a 90-second 400 felt like, what a 80-second 400 felt like. 70 seconds, our coach would say, go run 10 90-second 400s. That would be the workout. And we didn't need a stopwatch to tell you how it felt in our bodies.
You could feel 90 seconds in your body. Cool.
Yeah. And then when you start to do radio, especially live radio, you learn what talking for 10 seconds feels like, and how if you realize that you talked too fast because you were nervous, and now you have to like fill a little more space, slow down, but also think of something else to say. And there are other ways too that I'm getting into rhythm, but they felt married. Those two things felt married in my mind.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was with a friend yesterday, and she went on this insane, beautiful trip. She just like quit her job and went to all these places until she had to come back and get another job.
Yeah.
And
eventually that happens.
yeah. So she goes and does all these things, and she said, for the first time in my life, I felt like I could finally hear my body. Like I could hear my body telling me, stretch, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Keep your head up. And I'd been ignoring that, or not ignoring it. I just couldn't hear it because I was stuck at the screen, or I was stuck at the computer. I couldn't feel the rhythm. I couldn't feel 90 seconds.
Yeah.
A whole day would go by, and I did nothing, or I just like gave to something that didn't really mean anything to me. And so there's something I like the intimacy of having the awareness of time and your relationship to your body and rhythms and the things you love, which you found. You had said something when we first connected about pronouncing your last name.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain that?
Yeah. I mean, for the longest time on air, I've been saying my last name is Segarra, which is how I grew up saying it. I grew up on Long Island. My dad is Puerto Rican, but he was the youngest of 13 kids. Many of them, this is a little bit of an aside, but
I'm sorry, the youngest of 13
of
kids?
13, but 7 of them died in infancy or childhood in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
He was the only one born in New York. And so when he was growing up, there was a big pressure to assimilate. He was told that by his family to speak English, not to speak Spanish. So whereas all of his brothers and sisters who lived, like, they spoke Spanish fluently, my dad had a different experience. And so growing up, I was a little, like, when something like that happens, it is very common for Latinos in the U.S., that assimilation story, there's a disconnection between you and your background. It always feels a little strange. I'm Puerto Rican and Polish. My mom's Polish, a little bit German. I remember saying to my therapist maybe like 5 years ago or something, I'm not sure if I can say that I'm Puerto Rican. Like, I'm not sure if I can claim it. And she was like, but you are Puerto Rican. Like, you're not Rachel Dolezal. Like, you're not like pretending to take on a culture that's not yours. Like, you are. I even grew up around the food. I grew up around people like speaking Spanish, but never to me. I grew up watching telenovelas with my tia and those like Spanish game shows, with the very flashy colors and like they're doing like absurd things.
Sábado Gigante.
Yes, exactly. I learned Spanish in school. And nobody in my family really spoke Spanish to me. So anyway, this is how I came to be a little just confused about who I was. I decided to start going back to Puerto Rico regularly. I'm going to Puerto Rico and I am going to meet my dad's cousins who I'd never met before.
And this is I guess I want to get the timeline right because I know a lot of people listening. I mean, this has come up. We've had whole episodes about people pronouncing their names and their names and changing their pronunciation of their names. So you're in therapy. You're like, I don't really know if I can even say I'm Puerto Rican. Your therapist is like, but you are Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And then from the therapist office, you're like, I'm going to Puerto Rico?
Like, I had gone to Puerto Rico before, but it was on vacation. Like, it was just a week of vacation. And then I just was like, I think it was also coinciding with coming out of the pandemic and being like, I want to take some time. Like, I want to go somewhere. I just felt really drawn to going to Puerto Rico, and I bought a one-way ticket. And
nice.
I was able to work remotely there. So I did vacation for a week, and then I was working remotely and just bopping around. I went all over the island, but I spent a lot of time on the West Coast where my family's from. And I just like reached out on Facebook to my dad's cousins there, who he hasn't seen since he was 10. And I was like, what's up? Do you want to hang? And it's one of those things, like, my Spanish has gotten much better, but at the time I had not been practicing it, and I was able to communicate in writing, but when I got there, they were like, I thought this girl spoke Spanish. like I was unable to, they were talking so fast. And it was like, they weren't moving their mouths at all when they talked. And it's, the Puerto Rican accent can be difficult to decipher if you're not used to it. I spent a month there that time. I went all over, but I spent a lot of time with them, and just learned, I learned even when I didn't know a word, they would show me the object. You know what I mean? And then I would start to really pick it up. And after a few years of going, I realized that it was making more and more sense to me to say my last name as Segarra, because I was introducing myself now to a lot of people who spoke Spanish, or even I made a really good friend there who, she sort of she'd be like, Segarra, how do you say that? It just felt like it flowed a lot better when I said my name in Spanish. And then I talked to my dad about it. I was like, how would you feel if I started saying it on air as Segarra? And he was like, I love it.
Cool. There's
Segarra, and then there's how some of my family who are like Jibaritos from the west side would say Segaja. Like, it was an H instead of an R. So there's I kind of blend the two, but there are layers of finding authenticity within how you say your own name. It's not that Segarra is wrong. I still say it to people from New York who don't speak Spanish. If I'm trying to be understood. But I code switch,
I did this episode with an organization that I worked with to practice my Spanish called Spanish Sin Pena. And that the first,
I listened to that one.
Yeah, the first barrier is shame.
Yeah.
And having the courage to put yourself in uncomfortable situations like talking to family when you don't actually know how to talk to family.
Yeah.
And being like, show me the object.
Yeah.
Help me out here.
Yeah.
And how difficult that is for some of us. And I guess that's why I get interested in the actually having the courage to make the switch. To say you don't know something, to say you want to know something, and then to put yourself in that position to evolve and change or grow, not change. Just, become closer to oneself.
Yeah.
And you did that. Okay, so you do it on air.
Yeah.
And you get thoughts, feedback, emails?
Sometimes people, I'm trying to remember when I started doing it on air, within the past year maybe.
Oh, this is fresh.
Yeah, and I do remember occasionally someone will leave a comment that says, like, why do you say your name like that? Or somebody wrote, like, I bet she started saying her name like that to be, just to like play up her that she's Latina or Latina. And they said, and it sounds so over the top when she says her name, like she's having an orgasm.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
people are so extra.
What? Like, first of all, I don't actually say my full name until the end of the credits. It's the very end of the episode. So I'm like,
which
you're
means
listening
you listen to the entire
all
thing
the way. And then also, like, if a rolled R sounds like an orgasm to you, I don't know. Like,
you're not spending your time right.
Yeah, I'm just sort of. I think you're associating. It's the stereotype, like the sexy Latina stereotype. It's you have an association that I think you should dig into, or maybe you just have a little crush on me, which is okay. But like, you don't have to post that. You don't have to post that. It's creepy.
And how does it make you feel?
It felt shitty.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I never really felt like I needed to explain the whole story, on our show, like I just did to you. But I think if I were having a conversation with that person, I don't know who they are, but like if I told them this story, they would understand. Like,
but also you don't have to.
No, I don't.
And it's not our place to explain.
Yeah, it's hard for me. Like, I'm always looking for mutual understanding, and
as we all are.
Yeah, but then sometimes I have to be okay with just being like, this person has misunderstood. That's all right, But it felt racist. It felt misogynistic, and gross, like that they took something that is so personal to me,
sacred,
and then made it into this like sex joke,
which is such a representation of our times in a way. The idea of the courage people can have on a screen, but would never have in real life. Like, that person is not going to have a conversation with you in real life.
No,
they will do everything to avoid having a conversation with you in real life.
Yeah.
And there is a courage that is sort of built up on the screen. As someone who has written and made a lot of art and things about identity, culture, race, I've gotten the weirdest, wildest things. I've gotten the most beautiful messages and the most vile messages.
Yeah.
And I remember when I felt them, like as if I can't, because my wound is wanting everyone to like me.
Yeah, same.
and
yeah,
to heal
tough.
that wound is so wonderful because you're like, oh no, I don't.
It's okay if you don't like me.
And I don't make art for you.
Yeah.
I don't make art for everybody. I make it for, I make art. Art shouldn't be for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's why it's beautiful. And that's why we have many artists and many storytellers and many journalists. So yeah, I'm glad that that person hopefully doesn't hold weight in your spirit.
Yeah. Maybe they did for a few days.
Yeah.
And then I'm mostly able to let that go. Truly, it just feels right. Like, saying my name this way, it feels right. And so that's how I know it's right. It feels right in my chest.
What's the other, not that there are other ways to get closer to ourselves, right? But, okay, so you're saying the name right. What else does it mean to you to get closer to this part of you? Or is it happening? Is it done? Is it?
No, it's ongoing. One thing, I just go towards what feels warm, or glimmery.
That's beautiful.
I spend a lot of time in PR whenever I can, and I love seeing bomba performed. And I went
Not
from...
Estéreo, I thought you were going to say. The band.
Oh, no. No, just like bomba music and dancing. And
You dance?
I have started to learn how. But what I realized was that I liked the drumming. Like, I wanted to learn the drumming,
Cool.
Not really the dancing as much. I mean, to understand
Rhythm.
bomba...
That's because you like rhythm.
Yeah. You really need to, I think, have tried your hand at both. Because it's a call and response. There are several drummers who are doing like one steady beat, and then there's like a primary drummer who is responding to what the dancer is doing. So the dancer makes some moves, like they might do this like staccato thing with their shoulders, and then the drummer is going like they're So they have to be, because there are other drums playing in a different beat, a steady beat, they really have to be like locked in on this dancer and laser focused. And they're looking at them and the dancer's looking at the drummer. And it's this like really connected ritual. But I was like, I want to hit some stuff with my hands. Like I want to feel that resonance. And so, yeah, I've started going to bomba classes.
Cool.
Yeah.
In New York?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I just went to one this week. It was great. Like
You own a
27
drum?
people there. No, I don't yet, but they
You're
had them
about to make
there.
your neighbors so happy.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's what everyone wants, is a drummer as a neighbor.
yeah, I'm like, maybe I just keep it to this community space where I go and like they will, if you pay for the class and then they have some drums there. But now I'm on a WhatsApp group with like 140 something other Puerto Ricans who are like
From the
learning
bomba group?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm so excited. I'm just it's a gradual layering, right? Like it's not all going to happen at once, but the more I experience and like follow what feels warm, it just opens up new channels to it, new paths. I don't know what it's going to look like in 5 years, like yeah, I feel really drawn to other Puerto Rican people and other like Latinos from the Caribbean. I just like want to spend more and more time with folks of this same background. There feels something very like resonant for me.
What is the role of brownness in journalism or at a place like NPR?
That's a big question. What is the role of brownness in journalism? I guess I would start by saying, like, this goes back to what I said to my therapist, right? Which is that, like, can I claim being Puerto Rican? Now I'm like, I am Puerto Rican, but I don't feel like I can claim being brown because I look very white. Like, people look at me and they see Polish usually. Like, even when I'm in Puerto Rico, people will talk to my family and be like, is she yours? And they asked if I was Russian. And I know there are lots of Puerto Ricans who are white too. My dad is brown. I feel kinship with brown folks and with other Latinos, but then I don't think that people necessarily see me as brown, and it feels almost like, I don't want to say stolen valor, but like I don't want to like claim a type of lived experience that I haven't had. My lived experience as a mixed person is complex. Like it's I have obviously experienced some racism, like that comment, and things that would get said all the time just based on people knowing that I'm Puerto Rican. But to look at me, they don't necessarily know, and so I don't experience that level of racism. Yeah,
I hate to play the I think one of our issues in this society, and the reason I use the word brown as a moniker is because we know what blackness is. They've done a wonderful job at, they even take Afro-Latinos and say you're black. And many Afro-Latinos will claim their blackness because they've been embraced more by blackness than they have been embraced by Latinidad culture. We all know what whiteness is. and I use this term brown, that I think struggles for people because we play the trauma Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, you look closer to white, so you don't have a place. Or so you've
Yeah.
even told yourself.
Yeah.
And maybe because some people might have told you, or you think some people told you, and maybe some people are. And this is a problem, in my opinion, that we need to evolve past. Because brownness is such a spectrum, but so many people are on that spectrum. And in every country, and I don't just mean Latin countries, in South Asia, in Caribbeans, in islands all over the world, there is this proximity to whiteness that we battle in our own hearts, that either gives us opportunities or can take things away, or all of the above. And so this is an interesting conversation, and yet I still return to the question, okay, so you are this person with the privilege of identity, of looking a certain way. You've moved up in this beautiful field. You get to be this Puerto Rican voice in this place that doesn't have maybe many Puerto Rican voices. And so maybe you haven't thought about it, but what does it feel like? Can you claim it? Can you encourage others to claim it?
Yeah. It's yeah, you know what's interesting about also what you point out, like, it's very much an internal thing, because when I don't look at other people and say, like, or even think, you know, well, you're not brown, or you're not brown, or you know what I mean? Like, there's a thing that's happening for myself where I don't want to, like, step out of line or something. A lot of my Latino identity feels like Puerto Rican specifically. And it does feel really good to be a Puerto Rican voice. My experience doesn't represent all Latinos, like
Not
nobody's
that it should.
can.
Yeah.
But I have a particular experience of being like a mixed person who grew up in New York, whose parent was like pushed heavily to assimilate, and who grew up with not a lot of money. Like, that's another element of my experience. Who, you know, like, I didn't have connections in journalism. It was a lot of like carving that out. So it feels good to represent that, and to know that, like, I think as a mixed person, I feel like I could see a lot of different experiences. Like, I can see a lot of different, just from my own family, you know, a lot of different cultures. Like, think that bringing that mindset to the work we do can really help. I always feel a little like a fence sitter. I'm like a little in this world, a little in that world.
The thesis of my work in life, you know, I
Yeah.
think that's our beauty.
Yeah.
That's this incredible power we have of code switching, of speaking many tongues, you know, of being bodies of culture who can hang with these people and hang with these people. You know, I love that I went to school on the Upper East Side, but grew up in the most diverse place in the world, in Queens, and my best friend was in the Bronx and another was in Staten Island.
Yeah.
And I was bar mitzvahed when I was 13.
Oh, that's cool.
Because the community decided to throw me one. Because I was going to all these other Jewish kids' bar mitzvahs, and, you know, so we went to Flushing Meadow Park, and they surprised me, and my parents came out, and that is such a gift that we get to hold and embrace many histories and cultures and identities and confusions and questions, and that's this great thing that we get to do.
Yeah.
When we don't have to solidly claim this or this.
Mm-hmm.
There's more freedom, I believe, in that expansiveness.
I think I show up to work as a whole person, you know, with many different lived experiences under my belt. I guess nobody ever has really asked me if I identify as brown. Like, that's not something that's ever really come up. And so what you're getting is like a very raw, like, reaction to it, you know? It's not something I think about, like, in that way. So you're getting the like cookie dough version of it.
Yeah, I don't want the cooked cookie. I just want the dough. Always. You said something so beautiful to me. You had a health incident.
Yeah.
And you can describe as much of it as you'd like. But what you said that was so beautiful was something about people, community.
Yeah.
And I think this sort of ties into this conversation, community, our communities, which communities, many communities. I don't know if you want to share any more.
Yeah, so I had breast cancer last year, and it was a total shock. Like, sometimes I'm still like, did that really happen? It's wild. I had to go through a lot of treatment, like radiation and surgery, but also chemo, which I think like amplified. Like, chemo makes things feel really real. Like, it's
more than radiation and surgery.
Yeah, in my experience, yeah. It just had more of an impact in terms of like you become immunocompromised through chemo, can become severely immunocompromised and end up in the hospital like I did. You lose your hair often. It can have an impact. It kills fast-growing cells in your body. So it's killing off a lot of things that you would like to keep, like everything from the lining of your mouth and your esophagus, like right after an infusion starts to come off. Mm-hmm. You get like gastrointestinal issues after, and your ovaries have fast growing cells in them, and so like your ovarian function can also be like really impacted by chemo. Obviously, like it depends on the particular drug in the regimen, but so it really like it made shit feel real. I had this idea because I had people in my life who'd had cancer, and in theory, I thought if I ever had to do something like that, I just like wouldn't survive it. Like I was like, there's no way. Like even before my first chemo infusion, the idea of going and sitting in a chair and getting connected to an IV where they're pumping poison into you, like I was like, is it going to hurt? Like what is it going to, am I going to feel like I'm dying? You know, like what's even going to be left of me at the end of this? Like I thought I had this idea that I was going to be like a shriveled up raisin at the end. This is a little bit I remember what I said to you, and I'll come back to that. But I will say that like, I'm not a raisin now.
Like, no, you look very much
alive.
Yeah, like a grape.
Like a grape. Thank you. Like a grape. That's funny. I like the extended metaphor. I was so amazed by the body's ability to regenerate. You know, my body's ability to regenerate. Like it created such it formed such a love for my body and like a appreciation and a trust. Every infusion, it was like I got a facial on the inside of my mouth. Like the lining came off. I was like having mouth sores and stuff. It sucks. But then within like a week, it starts growing back in and it's smooth and soft, you know? And then other things, they take a longer time. And, you know, like after a few infusions, I was having trouble like walking up the stairs, you know? And now I'm playing softball and drumming and running again and doing all those things. So my light didn't go out physically or emotionally or spiritually. Like it remained the whole time.
What helped you keep the light?
One of the things was just letting myself be playful because I love to laugh and I like love to make jokes of things, and that was my natural instinct even during treatment. Like my dad showed me a couple videos that he took when I was during treatment, and one was when I had to go to the hospital. So I had an infusion and then my white blood cell count dropped too low. It's a specific thing. It's your neutrophil count. Your neutrophils are like the first responders of your white blood cells. And that's what drops very low during chemo. And mine dropped to like 0.06. Like it was like there were like only a couple left. And I spiked a fever. And so then they're worried about like sepsis or an infection that could kill you. You have to go to the ER, and then they pump you full of IV antibiotics and try to see if there's an infection that they can find. And then in the meantime, your bone marrow is like, they give you a shot to make your bone marrow release more neutrophils. But it takes like a day to really have it work. It's a dark moment, like a scary moment. But being at the hospital sucked for lots of reasons, healthcare bureaucracy as well. And when I finally like when my neutrophil count came back up, I did this like silly little dance in the hospital room that my dad has a video of. Like I think I had like a menstrual pad in my hand because I was about to like go to the hospital bathroom and like switch it out. And I was like sweaty and, I hadn't showered in 2 days. I didn't have like a shower available on this unit. And I just was like, but I was like, fuck yeah. Like I did my little dance. And there are several moments like that. Like even when I was like, I'd lost a lot of my hair and I had this like, I was feeling really bloated and I had this, I don't know, like bandana on. And I was in my apartment with my parents and I did this little dance again. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, she's still cute. Like, and my dad got that on video. So it was like being silly and like loving on my body. But yeah, community, like to get back to your point. I mean, all the people that showed up, I was always worried that because people say this, like if you got to be partnered because like if you don't have a partner, who's going to take care of you when you get sick? And this, what I said to you the other day was everybody, like everyone showed up. People who I work with, people who I'm friends with from far away and close by, family, like they sent me things. They came to appointments. They sat with me during the days after chemo and sat on the floor and held my hand. They did my dishes. They cooked food. They made me laugh, sent me funny. I just really liked sending GIFs like after that matched a certain situation. Like when my hair started falling out, I felt like I looked like Beetlejuice. So I was like sending pictures of Beetlejuice. Like, and then when they could meet me on that level, that it just, I felt really buoyed by them.
Community as ocean is so nice.
Yeah.
And to be held up by the whole substance. Yeah, I thought that was so beautiful. I am making a piece right now. How many of us couple a fear of I'm getting older? I need someone there. Yeah. I have a father who said like there's nothing sadder than being alone in a hospital. Mm-hmm. My mother spent a lot of time in a hospital. And I was so blown away by what you said. And I've been thinking a lot about community lately. It's come up a lot in this show. Someone we interviewed, a farmer, said, "It is exhausting to think about dismantling a system. It is encouraging and exciting to nourish my community."
Yeah.
Like that is its own system. The community is a system.
Yeah.
And it's fractal and it's smaller. And you have this system. And we need to invest in our communities.
Yeah. This idea that there's nothing sadder than being alone in a hospital, I'm sure that's true. But what makes you think that because you don't have a husband or a wife that you're alone? Or that you have to be alone? I don't think you do. Like,
and many people do think this.
Yeah. Not you, but like in general, this idea that
Hollywood
without a spouse,
and media, it's like we're never sold like go make a bunch of friends and hang out with them and let them and let them know that like you have a deep intimacy with them. Mm-hmm. It's always like find the person who completes you.
Yeah, I think I wanted that too, the person who completes me, but I have not met them. And I don't think that they're real. I don't think anyone can complete me. Or you've met them
many, many, many times. Yes, I agree that you are complete. I don't think people complete us.
Yeah.
I love Ram Dass's take on love. When you fall in love with someone, you are so wildly generous. You are absolutely the best version of yourself. You think it's them, but it's you.
Yeah.
They just remind you of you.
Yeah.
How incredible how generous you can be, how open-hearted, how funny, how playful.
Yeah.
But you think it's them. You give them all the credit.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything. They just showed you who you were. They were just a mirror.
Yeah.
And that you have the opportunity to do this in your life all the time, to let people reflect your own beauty back to you. And you do the same for them. And so, my other friend Liz Plank says we need to romanticize our friendships.
Yeah.
And soften our romantic relationships. We need to put some of that work and effort in to the people who are always there around us.
So I do this a lot. I showed up the other day to walk with my friend and I had stickers in my hands and I put my fist out and I said, pick a hand. And then she picked one and then I was like, okay, pick another hand. And I really just wanted to give her both stickers. And I'd picked out both specifically for her. But I wanted, made a little game of it because that's the sort of thing that you do on a fifth date
100%.
with somebody, you know? But she and I have been friends for 10 plus years. And I love romancing my friends.
It's
Like,
beautiful.
I've been doing a lot of here in the office. I've been starting to write notes to people on Post-its that are like, okay, if you could spend a day with one of these vampires, which one would it be? And then please flip over. What activity would you do with them? And it's the little check boxes. And then ideally, then the person answers, and then they send you a little question back.
Who are my vampire?
Your
choices?
vampires. These are the ones that I gave to my colleague June, because she likes vampires. Edward Cullen.
Yeah.
The
classic.
Count.
So good. From Chocula?
No, the Count from Sesame Street.
Oh, that Count. Yeah.
Sesame Street, right?
Yeah, but also Count Chocula.
But Count Chocula, like, you
Different
choose a
counts.
count. You choose a count. Louis de Pontelac.
Who's that?
From Interview with the Vampire.
Oh.
Specifically the Jacob Anderson version. And who's the other one? Oh, Angel from Buffy.
Wow, what a great choice.
Yeah. Who would you pick?
What a great choice. I loved Buffy.
Yeah.
I loved that show.
Angel's
I'm not going
very
Edward.
attractive.
I know I'm not going Edward. It's just
no,
it's not
me neither.
mine.
No,
It's not my jam.
Too pasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not my jam. I don't like the glistening. The Count sounds annoying as hell.
Yeah, totally.
Both of them. Both the chocolate one and
He the whole time
and
he'd
the
just
counter.
be like,
Yeah. I think it's got to be Angel.
Angel. Okay, and then the activities I gave, I'm trying to remember what they all were, but one was watching a Twilight marathon. One was amusement park. One was salsa dancing. I forget the fourth one.
Count Chocula's a great dancer. I can feel that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Angel, I want to say Angel's a good dancer, but I don't know that he is.
So, no, he's not going to be able to do salsa. I think Louis could.
Yes. Louis could do a lot of things.
I would. It would be so hard to pick between Louis and Angel. And maybe we want something off the menu in terms of what we do together.
A theme park is fun for them because they can like do the thing where they move everyone out of the line. You know, they like do that, like you look in their eyes and they're like,
yeah,
I'll do whatever you want.
Get out of my way. Yeah.
So they could just be like, excuse me. And then we're at the front of the line, riding every lot.
Yeah. What ride do you think that that you'd most want to go on with Angel?
Not a roller coaster.
I'm thinking something stupid.
Not
like,
bumper cars.
You know, like It's a Small World, or like one of those like.
I was thinking like teacups would be
teacups.
cute.
Yeah.
Because we're doing like a romance thing, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
A Ferris wheel with Louis is intense. You're like in for some deep conversation.
Yeah, he is intense.
Yeah.
My friend pointed out that she was like, I would do Louis and a Twilight marathon because he would have so many nasty things to say about everybody.
Yeah.
It'd be really good.
He's not into Twilight.
No. He's like, this isn't it at all. This isn't what being a vampire is like.
I want everyone listening to do what you did. I don't know, not for vampires.
Yeah.
But there is a sacredness to this life, I believe. That's kind of how I try to move through the world. Like, you just spent an hour with me. You gave me 60 minutes of your life, like, as you move closer to death. As we move through the world, like, you're literally giving people your life.
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
And that's something sacred. And then so to also give them stickers and play and joy.
Yeah.
And remind them that it's not just about work or the next task or the next thing on the calendar, that there is play here, and that play gave you so much, kept the spirit alive.
Mm-hmm.
I think is really, really special. And so, like, may we play as we get closer to ourselves, as we heal ourselves, as we love ourselves and our friends and our friendships, as we're buoyed and are buoyed and buoy others. Any last questions for me? Any last thoughts as we start to wrap up?
Oh my gosh. I have so many questions for you, but like just in general, I'm like, that would be like a whole other hour. When we get out of here, I'm going to show you my box of notes at my desk because when I get the Post-its back, when people answer, I've started putting them in a box. Yeah.
It's a good book.
But I will tell you that I've been thinking about like amping it up a level because I'm extra, and every time I get an idea, I'm like, oh, now let's like really do it. So I sent a note back to my colleague the other day that I was like, do you see that globe in the corner? Because there's like a globe in the corner of the office for some reason. I want you to go over to it, close your eyes, spin it around, let your finger land on one place, and then tell me how you would spend a day, how you would feel about spending a day in that place. And I was like, oh, now we're getting like other elements of the office involved. Now I want to be like, okay, here's a treasure hunt. Like, I'm going to leave a sticker for you, but I'm leaving it. I'm going to put some riddle. So, like, you have to find it. Like, it's going to be, behind this clock or something like that.
This is good.
Yeah, I need to do this stuff also. It's like you said, it's not just about, like I'm showing love to other people, but I'm also, like, letting myself be brought out by the presence of other people. Like, I'm letting my playfulness really spark, I guess.
Yeah, the thing you want is the thing you should give most of.
Yeah.
I believe that also.
Yeah. I'm like waiting for people to start leaving me notes because I'm like some people are like they send you back, with a question, but I'm like, okay, and now you go, But I do believe that though. I think it's like you have to start just putting it out into the world, and then those people also find you. I think that
attract them. Yeah. All of the above. Yeah.
The people who are into the same kinds of things have that same energy. Like they find you.
Oh, do you want to talk about your Friday dinners?
Yeah, that's
Speaking
tonight,
of community.
actually. Yeah. I just recently started a community dinner with some friends. It was inspired by Samin Nosrat. She wrote Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, and she has a new cookbook out that talks a lot about eating in community and like making meals for a group. She has done a weekly community dinner for a long time. I think like 5 years, every Monday. I thought maybe weekly would be too much for people to start, like that but we could get buy-in for monthly. And so I asked like basically 4 friends who I knew were the kind of people who would commit to something like this and who had the same value of like being really interested in like grounding community and ritual. Because it's often like you can be like, oh, I know all these people, but I don't see them, Yeah. And I wanted them to know each other, these folks, because they all had something that felt safe and warm and generative to me. And so, yeah, we had our first one. We picked like first Friday of the month is when we're going to do it. We had our first one. Tonight's our second one. And we also invited, it'll be 8 of us total. So it's like 5 of us who do it every month. And then we invite some plus ones. And I'm so excited.
Who cooks?
I'm cooking tonight. I'm cooking the main thing tonight, but everybody's bringing something.
What happens? What's your takeaway?
Oh, it just
Not that everything needs a takeaway.
What's right? Well, Life Kit, we do a lot of takeaways. It felt so warm. It felt so like everyone in the room. The core group of friends, like they were friends who I feel like I can touch. Like physically go up. Like I have this thing when I'm dating somebody that I will like when we're at dinner and I'm going to the bathroom, I get up and I kiss them on the cheek and then I go to the bathroom and I come back and I might like put my hand on their shoulder, let them know that I'm back. Like that's just like a thing that I like to do. But I realized like you can also do that with your friends. Like maybe not kiss them on the cheek, but like, you get up and you like
I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah. You kiss them on the head or you put your arms around them from behind or something like that. And these friends are all people that I feel like I can do that with. And that's the kind of community that I want to build that has that like intimacy, that like even physical intimacy. And yes, like sometimes we'll invite people who maybe I don't have that with yet, but I could, or just like being in the same space where they see that kind of intimacy probably makes the whole space feel warmer.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right, what's our takeaway? Since you do takeaways on Life Kit.
From the whole conversation?
I could do it, but you should do it.
No, you should do it.
You should do it. That's what Life Kit does.
What's our takeaway?
What's in service?
We talked about so much.
Service journalism.
My takeaway is that we should be friends.
Okay, cool. Received. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Done. Sold. That's a great takeaway. We should
Deal.
be friends.
Okay.
Community, friendship with an intimacy.
Yeah. I love it. I'd shake on it, but we're too far.
You'll have no idea how far we are. It's a vast distance between us at this table.
It's a big table.
Well, that's New York NPR for you.
All right, y'all, that's our time. I appreciate you, as always. So much love and care, and make sure to check out Life Kit wherever you listen to podcasts. I'll see you soon. Peace.